chat friends. So in this video, I want to share with you a quick score boosting technique. It's quite straightforward. You do need some vocabulary to implement this accurately, but it's definitely worth it. So at the end of the video as well, I've got a quick request for you related to this site, but let's jump into it. So this is the online essay checker, and when you're using it, you're going to get, you may get this suggestion, okay, to improve your score. So what does that mean? Well, we want to boost our vocabulary, and that's like the technique that I'm going to share with you today. So we might have this question, okay? These days, more fathers stay at home and take care of their children while mothers go out to work. What could be the reasons for this? Is it a positive or negative development? So we're not going to look at the body, conclusion, the structure, the format. We're just going to look at vocabulary. Okay, I'm a great believer in that. I strongly believe that IELTS is quite simple. It's quite straightforward when we break it down into small components, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. So let's have a look. Traditional home roles can change and may depend on the course a society may take. People can switch roles depending on the needs at the time. This essay will look at the common reasons for this using examples and say if it is good or not. Now, tell me, maybe pause the tutorial. What do you think about this introduction? Is it basic? Could it be improved? Pause, have a look, maybe even circle the words that you think could be swapped out and improved. Let's break it down sentence by sentence. So traditional hormones can change and may depend on the course a society may take. Now, repetition isn't good, it isn't bad, okay? What do I mean? Well, it's not bad if you cannot avoid it, However, in this case, I've got an extensive vocabulary being a native English speaker. So, and if you're going for a band 7, ideally, you'll have an extensive vocabulary and you'll be able to spot opportunities to avoid repetition. Yeah. So that's the first thing that strikes me. And also, traditional home roles. What do we mean by that? Well, we mean usually the husband and wife, or the male and the female. What other words could we use? And also, can change. That's not too bad. It's a modal sentence, but change is quite generic. So there's 3 opportunities there, okay? And this is the one that I came up with. Traditional domestic roles can shift over time, depending on the course a society may take. That's not too bad, yeah? So we said can shift. It's slightly more sophisticated. Can shift. And then we've got over time as well, which kind of references the question these days. And depending on the course a society may take. So we managed to reduce the repetition, and we've got shift instead of change, and over time, kind of like referencing the question. We could even take it a step further and say breadwinners and stay-at-home wives, maybe, because those are the roles that we're talking about here that are shifting, because typically the father is the breadwinner and the wife is a stay-at-home parent. Okay, so we've got that option. Now let's look at the second sentence. People can switch roles depending on the needs at the time. Okay, what could we say instead of people? Well, I kind of got ahead of myself. I kind of got ahead of myself here because we can say breadwinners and child carers. Okay, that's a much more specific term, and it's far better than saying people. People is too generic. People is probably among the first 100 words we learn in English. So surely we can do better than that if we're going for band 7. So let's upgrade it to breadwinners and child carers can switch roles depending on the needs at the time. So this is a good example of topic-specific vocabulary. And you can boost this in various ways, which I'll probably share with you later. What's the final sentence? Now, the final sentence is rather generic. Okay, we suggest in our frameworks the students start off with generic, easy sentences and then build on them. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to build on this. This essay will look at the common reasons for this, using examples, and then say if it is good or not. So let's just have a look at that in more detail. First of all, what strikes me, and hopefully what strikes you, what grabs your attention, is this basic word, good. Words like good and bad and big and small, again, are probably among the first 20 words we learn in the English language. And so obviously it's not band 7. What could we say instead of good? We say beneficial. Yeah. And then also using examples. So what I always say with the students when I'm correcting essays, I say this essay, I can put this into an essay about nuclear power. I could put this into an essay about crime. And it's copy-paste generic, which is okay if you're just starting out. If you're going for band 7, you need to start adapting these kind of framework sentences. So using examples from where? From the Encyclopedia Britannica, from Oxford University, from France and Scotland. Where are you going to use these examples? Okay. So a few opportunities there. Okay, for such switches. Now this is okay if I use this word because it's kind of obvious, but it's referring back to what we just mentioned. This is a little bit more specific and just helps with the cohesion. Using examples as again, I'm being a little bit more specific. This is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Scotland in body paragraph 1 and probably in body paragraph 2, France. And I'll keep it in that order, Scotland and France. And then determine. That is so much richer than say if it's good or not. Okay, whether it is beneficial or not. And again, just upgrading if for whether. You see? And then if we look at it all together, we can see it all ties in. We've got topic-specific vocabulary. We've reduced the repetition. We've got a little bit more specific. I mean, it's not repetition here because we're using a different variation. Switch to switches, it's fine. Using examples, specificity, and then determine whether, higher level language structures, and altogether that's far superior than the original basic introduction that we had. That was maybe, I mean, grammatically it's perfect, but for IELTS we need to go beyond perfect grammar, unfortunately, and we need to write for the examiner, not just write for writing's sake, if you get my drift. So there we go. We've got our higher level version, and that's a quick and relatively straightforward way to improve your vocabulary. So what you're doing is you're going through and you're looking for opportunities. These opportunities may shout at you in the form of repetition, basic vocabulary, basic structures, basic grammar structures, and again, generic generic terms as well. So go through, look through your work, look for opportunities to upgrade, and if you can do it safely, go ahead. Okay, so this is why getting your essay checked is a decent idea. You can use this site. Where is it? You can use this site. Yep, and you can get your essay score here, or you can send in your essay to us. We have special offers, and we can tell you, like, okay, Catherine, this word is wrong. You're better using this word. or you can use our online essay checker. Okay, this one's faster, but obviously getting a human to look at it is more accurate, but it takes a little bit longer. Now, one question for you guys, two questions actually. Number one, can you actually access this site from China? www.essaycheck.IELTSPodcast.com. Let me know. And also, if you've got some questions about vocabulary and upgrading your vocab, let me know. So have a super day, and thank you for watching.